Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvelle. Coming to you from the Future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
And we have made it to the Friday, the eve of Florida-Alabama, the big game in the nation in college football. We'll go over that game and a ton of good football games here on a Friday edition of College Sports Today. Mm-hmm. Coach Steve Spurrier, we'll have a lot to talk about. Coach, the last coach in the East and the last program at South Carolina to beat Alabama from the East. We'll talk about that as we go. We are broadcasting, of course, from Coach's Podcast Room inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. The place has been hopping. We'll continue hopping. We want to thank Future Home Loans. We're in the Future Home Loans studios. And, of course, Allen Law Firm, our title sponsor. Coach, let's get right to it. We'll get to our picks with Shane Matthews in a little bit. I mean, we're here now. Everything's, not a whole lot more you can do. You guys, in terms of your teams at Florida and your team at South Carolina were kind of like the first East team to beat Alabama and the last East team to beat Alabama. How'd you do it, Coach, at two different programs?
Well, here at Florida, the first conference game I ever coached was against Alabama. Now, how you figure that?
How about that?
We'd play those guys maybe twice every 9-10 years. Yeah. But some reason the schedule, we went to Alabama the second game of the season after playing Oklahoma State. And it was a game, we were shut out at halftime, but we just really encouraged our guys, let's play the whole game. And when it's over, we'll look up at the scoreboard and see how we did, okay? So we kept hustling and trying. And Shane Matthews hit a few passes, Ernie Mills, Terrence Barber. And our defense, Will White picked off three passes. Had the game of his life at Alabama. And then we blocked a punt in the fourth quarter to win 17-13. And I never will forget one of the local writers here, Bill King. Now, this is the first conference game I ever coached. He said what was amazing about this game is that Florida played like Alabama teams. Okay. Hung in there, don't make mistakes. Yeah. And he said Alabama teams played like old Florida teams. Made crucial mistakes over and over, and somehow or another we won the game, 17-13. And then, and then after that we played them a whole bunch of other times. But we enjoyed playing against the best. Yeah. Alabama in the history of college football, I think they're the best. I think they're better than Southern Cal and Michigan and all those other guys, teams,
Notre Dame,
that want to claim to be the best. But they are the best, and our players got a little extra juice in them to play Alabama because we're competing against the best, and hopefully our guys are approaching it that way this week also.
Coach, I heard you, you've said on this show, I heard you earlier this morning on SEC Network, you have always been very impressed the way Coach Saban at Alabama, the way his team seems to be team-oriented, not a lot of brashness, not a lot of look at me, jumping around. You seem to have really respected the way Coach Saban has cultured a team atmosphere there.
Well, he has, but Alabama's always been that way. Back in '96, I remember we played Alabama after we had played FSU up there when Danny Warfel got hit 34 times after he'd thrown the ball. And we beat Alabama to get the rematch, but one play, Danny was in the shotgun, and they had a corner blitz. Nobody touched the guy, but Danny went ahead and threw the ball, and the guy, instead of lowering the boom on Danny, he just ran around him and chased the ball.
Gotcha.
So we were watching the tape, and I said, Danny, that DB, if he wanted to, he could have clobbered you, couldn't he? He said, yeah, those guys don't play that way, Coach. Alabama plays clean, fair, and hard. and you got to admire the way they do it. They don't mouth around with you. They played the game the way it's supposed to be played. So I've got utmost respect for Alabama. Not only Coach Saban, Coach Stallings, all those coaches there, and all their players. Yeah. They don't jaw around. They play the game the way it's supposed to be.
Coach, in terms of tomorrow's game, certainly Coach Mullen, probably on purpose, has kept the Anthony Richardson hamstring situation. He's kept it vague, and I don't blame him for doing that. He's kept it vague in terms of his health. One late injury situation, I want to get your thoughts on it. Florida, it looks like, will be without their middle linebacker, Ventrell Miller. It looks like he might be done for the year. It looks like Miller will not play. He's got a bicep situation. He's pretty much been ruled out. In terms of, he's Florida's closest old school middle linebacker. You know, he's between the hash marks. He's kind of a physical guy, the middle linebacker. Will that type of player being missed tomorrow for the Gators, will that factor in the game? Alabama's not the old Alabama where they want to run the ball 45 times. They spread it out. Thoughts on losing the middle linebacker for Florida defensively?
Well, you got to hope your next player is pretty close to equal to the player you lost when a guy gets hurt. But there's nothing you can do about injuries except try to totally be prepared every game with your team. But if someone does get hurt, the next guy has to step in there. So hopefully it won't be a big deal.
You made a good point as well earlier this morning on SEC Network. If tomorrow's ball game gets into the fourth quarter and it's still a competitive game, provided Anthony Richardson is healthy, if it's a competitive game and both Florida quarterbacks are healthy, we'll kind of know who's taken over that job by who's playing in the game in the fourth quarter, right, for Florida. You'll kind of know.
Well, it may be second quarter, third quarter, who knows?
But if it's a close game late, we'll know.
Yeah. I don't think any of us know exactly how Dan's got it planned, but obviously Emory's starting, and we go from there. I would imagine Anthony will be in maybe first quarter.
Yeah.
And go from there. So, and obviously maybe the one's playing the best will be the guy at the end of the game. Yes, time one of the Eastern Division teams finally beats Alabama. It's been about 11 years since that South Carolina team upset them up there in Columbia. So hopefully we can do that tomorrow.
I can't. You'll remember this. I can't. But that 2010 South Carolina versus Alabama game in Columbia, Alabama, I'm sure, was in the top five. Probably were they ranked number 1, 2, or 3? Probably.
Number 1.
They were number 1.
Yeah, number 1.
And I'm assuming the point spread was fairly large going into that game. I don't know if you remember it, but I'm guessing the number 1 team comes in. They were probably a solid favorite, kind of like Alabama is for tomorrow.
Yeah, I think they were. I'm not sure what the spread was, but we had a really good team that year also. And we had the week off. A lot of people say, how did you guys pull that upset? And I said, well, we had a week off and to sort of, prepare a little bit extra maybe. I don't know if that's a big deal or not. But we, I don't know if you remember, all you golfers out there, remember Ben Crenshaw? When they had the Ryder Cup come back.
Sure.
Was it Medina?
Yeah, I think it was Medina.
And we were way behind, and he told the media, he said, I believe in fate, and I got a feeling something good's going to happen tomorrow. So I decided I might as well use that word fate.
There you go.
So I told the guys, I said, let's give fate a chance. You got to give it a chance. That means if fate's on your side, that we're supposed to beat those guys, let's make sure we give fate every opportunity to kick in there.
Yes.
And so our guys played the best game of the year for us. I mean, we had basically about 8 possessions, and we scored 5 touchdowns. No field goals, all touchdowns, 35 points. And then Alabama did not have their best game. Jim McElwain was actually the play caller for Alabama that day.
How about that?
And Mark Ingram later told me, he said, Coach, I think I only got 5 or 6 carries that day. And Trent Richardson, the other back, he only got 5 or 6, and they tried to throw the ball the whole game. McElroy had 7 sacks.
And Ingram was a Heisman Trophy winner.
The year before.
Yeah, the year before. Wow.
And they had Julio Jones out there, of course. They were loaded with ball players. That wasn't it. But they just did not have a great day. They missed an extra point. Then they went for 2 and missed it. And then they tried a fake field goal late in the game when really they probably didn't have to. So they didn't have their best game, and we had a near perfect game. And that's how we beat them. Wow. So if that's what it takes for us to beat Alabama tomorrow, then you got to give fate a chance to kick in there. Yeah.
Give it a chance.
Yep.
Let me set some things up. We'll take a break in a moment, get Shane Matthews on, and we'll get to our picks. Obviously, Florida, Alabama will be in there. It'll be the last pick we make, but there are a lot of good games we're going to look at here after the break. Real quick, before we go to the break, though, Coach, getting away from Florida, Alabama for a moment, huge news earlier in the week out of Southern Cal. They make a move 2 games into their season. The AD decides to go ahead and fire Clay Helton. Quickly, your thoughts on the timing of that? And you've heard some of the names. That's a pretty good job now. That's a LA, a lot of talent out there. Talk about the USC situation that played out a couple days ago.
Yeah, Clay's a wonderful guy, and he did a good job, not a great job there. I think he was 48-24, something like that, which is pretty good at most places, but not Southern Cal, I guess. And but I didn't hear anybody say it was a shock because he's been on the hot seat just about every year. And then they've looked for people, and they can say, well, we can't hire anybody better. We'll let you coach another year, which is a tough way to do it. But I think it was inevitable that that's what they wanted to do. And Clay's a good guy and a good coach, but obviously they just think they're supposed to be national champ contention every year.
The timing of it, Coach.
And
2 games
in
that
has that.
2 games in, though, that's almost not fair to the players, is it? The way they
I don't know. I don't know how much a lot of these head coaches do. I know Graham Harrell is their offensive coordinator who calls the plays.
Yes.
And sometimes if you remove the head coach, maybe it'll spark something else. I don't know.
Yeah. That's a good job, though, right?
Well, it used to be a great job.
You go out there and win, right? You got talent everywhere.
Yeah, we used to think Nebraska was a great job, too. But Southern Cal, they can recruit there. Maybe a little better than Nebraska.
Yeah.
So, it'll be interesting to see who they get. But they think they're going to get a big-name guy, but I don't know if they can or not. Time will tell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But shocking news a couple days ago out of Southern California. Let's take a break here. A lot going on. Our picks, our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. There are some good ones. We'll welcome Shane Matthews to the show. We'll get to that here on a Friday edition. We are coming to you, of course, from Coach's Podcast Room. We're inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, up and running. It will be hopping, has been hopping. If you're in the area, get over here to Visors is open, the upstairs rooftop bar. Of course, downstairs, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, 100% open and ready for you. We want to thank our friends at Future Home Loans. We are in the Future Home Loans studio. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. That tells you how they do it, why they do it, and that they can do it right. If you're looking for a mortgage, getting in the home buying industry, or in that period looking to buy a home, contact Future Home Loans. And we also want to thank our title sponsor of College Sports Today, Allen Law Firm, based out of Gainesville and Ocala. Break time. Shane Matthews joins us. Safe Harbor Seafood Picks of the Week coming up next.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
The good vibes. What? All the good vibes we had, we'll have again. Good vibes. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development, go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
We are back, coming to you live inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We're in Coach's podcast room. This is the Future Home Loans studio. Thank you to Future Home Loans for sponsoring this beautiful studio for college sports today. I also want to thank our good friends with Allen Law Firm for jumping on board. They are our title sponsor. Easiest way to get a hold of them if you've been in an accident or injured, simply pick up your phone, hit pound, yes, pound YES. That'll get you right through to the experts at Allen Law Firm. Time to pick some games. Coach Steve Spurrier is here. I'm Terry Norvelle. We'll pull up Shane Matthews here momentarily. And guys, we'll pick the games and then we get to comment on what we think is going to happen. We'll do Florida, Alabama last. Let's throw up the standings and the games. Let's take a quick look. Last week, Shane Matthews, as we'll welcome Shane to the show momentarily, Shane went 5-5 in the 10 games last week. I went 5-5, and Coach was right there at 4-6. That was last week's standings, as you can see. And then the overall standings, Shane leading with 18 correct, Coach 16. I'm back at 14. So pretty much a wash last week. I guess we picked up one game, Coach, but we all kind of are muddled around. There's a lot of parity in college football, Coach, before we get going.
Yeah, we've been looking at the games this week, and I mean, you can flip a coin.
Yeah.
So it's people who gamble on football, I don't know how they make money. I really don't.
I don't think they do, Coach.
10%.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
I guess maybe they just got to be lucky. That's all
I guess so. As you can see, of course, for the second year in a row, our wonderful sponsor of the picks contest and weekly picks, Safe Harbor Seafood, two great locations, Crescent Beach and the original in Mayport. Mr. Matthews, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. I know you and Coach are really getting wore out, I guess. You enjoy it, but a lot of media coverage, and you guys are front and center, right?
Yeah, I've done a ton of interviews in the state of Alabama for different shows, and I've had people on my shows, but, you know, it goes with the territory.
Yeah.
But, you know, this is a huge rivalry game, and I didn't realize this. You know, I know Coach coached against FSU when they came to the Swamp and they were number one, but somebody told me that the last time an SEC team came to the Swamp ranked number one in America was the 59 LSU Tigers and Billy Cannon.
How about that? 59 SEC number one.
SEC
That was the
team.
Chinese
How about
Bandits
that?
back then, I guess, with
Yeah.
Paul Dietzel. Coach, was that Paul Dietzel way back then?
Yeah.
At LSU? Yeah. How about that?
Yeah,
50.
that's really why this game is such a buzz. It's Alabama, too,
Yeah.
the best
Yeah.
team in the history of college football, and they're number one. And, that year at South Carolina, they were number one. That created the buzz, and the fans were at an all-time feverish high when number one comes. But Alabama's used to this. They everywhere they go, they know they're going to try to get everybody's best shot.
Yeah, they're the Beatles, they're Elvis, they're all that wrapped into one in the last decade, and they deserve it.
And they deserve it.
They deserve
Exactly.
it, as we've said. Shane, let's get things going. I think we got 12 games. There are a lot of good games. We're going to start with a game tonight because it's such a good game. Shane, will let you lead off. Tonight, 7:30 on ESPN, UCF at Louisville. Man, UCF, you look back, they nearly lost that first game, but they pulled it out, and they're feeling good. Shane, tough game to start off with, UCF at Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville, I think they're a little bit better than what you saw when they played Ole Miss, but I'm going to go with, I just like Dylan Gabriel, the experienced quarterback. They could throw it around a little bit. I'll go with the Knights.
Coach, UCF and Louisville.
Yeah, I'm going with UCF. That comeback win they had over Boise State may propel them to a wonderful season.
I feel like you do. Had they dropped that right out of the gate, Malzahn might have been, hey, what are we doing here? But boy, that comeback win seems to really have fueled UCF. I'll make it a clean sweep across the board. Coach, our second game, Cincinnati. A quiet top 10 team. They've got Notre Dame next week. Cincinnati takes on Indiana. That's a high noon game tomorrow on ESPN. Indiana's supposed to be pretty good, but boy, Iowa took them to the woodshed 2 weeks ago. Cincy at Indiana.
I like Cincinnati. I like how they play defense, and they got enough offense, I think, to beat Indiana. So I'll go with Cincy.
I'm going to join you there, Coach, and go with Cincinnati as well. Desmond Ridder, the quarterback. They play hard, tough-nosed defense. It's a pretty good game. I think Indiana, Shane, is better than what they showed 2 weeks ago. They caught a buzzsaw at Iowa. How do you see it, Cincinnati, Indiana?
Well, I like the Bearcats for two reasons. As Coach said, their defense, but they got the experience and the best quarterback. Indiana, I always picture Indiana and Iowa State kind of are in my head together now. Everybody gives them all this love, and then they just let you down. So I'm going to go with the Bearcats.
Across the board, we all three like Cincinnati. Tough game. Third game to pick today. Virginia Tech and West Virginia. They will tangle tomorrow at noon in Morgantown. That's a Fox Sports game. I'll lead this off. This is a tough pick. I think West Virginia, earlier in the week, they were given 2.5 points. Guys, I'm going to lead this off, and I'm flipping a coin here. I'm going to go against everything. I'm going to take the visiting Virginia Tech Hokies. Give me Virginia Tech as we throw it back to Shane. Shane, how do you see it?
I like the Mountaineers at home. I know Virginia Tech has, they beat North Carolina early in the year. I don't know how good North Carolina really is. I'm going to just lean to a squeaker by the Mountaineers.
Should be a good game, Coach. High noon tomorrow. What do you think?
I'm going to take the home team, West Virginia, and that's the only reason, home team.
Yeah, I think it's close as well, so I'm going to go a little bit against the grain. I go Virginia Tech. You two go West Virginia. That'll be a fun one, again, at high noon. Coach, I'll let you lead this one off. Miami really probably should have. I picked Miami last week to win. I'm glad I got the win. I'll watch App State. App State probably should have beat Miami last week. Miami this week at home, they welcome a Big Ten school, Michigan State. Mel Tucker's done a half-decent job there, I think, in a year and a half or so. Michigan State from the Big Ten travels down to South Florida to take on Miami. Coach Spurrier, how do you see it?
Oh, that's almost a flip a coin game, I think.
It's a tough one, too.
Michigan State, are they 2-0?
Yes, I think they are. I believe so.
Yeah. I'm going to take Miami strictly because they're the home team.
So Coach Spurrier likes Miami in Miami against the Big Ten. Shane, I think this is one of those, I think Miami's favored. They're given like 6 points or something, which I thought was a little odd. Michigan State at Miami, high noon ABC game tomorrow. Shane Matthews.
Yeah, it's odd, as you said that, but I've watched Miami play too much. I'm just not impressed with them. They should play a lot better than they have been. Michigan State, the heat could bother them. Who knows? I don't know how good they are either. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Since Coach went Miami, I'm going to go Michigan State.
Yeah, this is yet another tough pick, I think. I'm with you, Shane. I'm just not that impressed with Miami. I thought their overall talent level was going to be a little higher. I'm going to join Shane Matthews. I'm going to take Michigan State, so we're now getting some different picks here. Big Ten, I think, will prevail, a little stronger, and it'll be a fun one. Again, there's some nice games. That's a high noon ABC game. I'll lead off with the next game, Minnesota. The terrible news, they lost their good running back for the season. That son of a gun is a good back. He finished second in the nation in yards last year. Minnesota on the road at Colorado. Boy, Colorado was tough the other day. They probably should have won that game against A&M. Minnesota at Colorado. I'm going to go with the Big Ten here, guys. I'm going to lead this one off. Give me Minnesota. I like their quarterback. I think they've got some playmakers at wide receiver. Good game. Couple big conferences going at it, Coach. Minnesota at Colorado.
If they still had that running back,
I'm going against them.
I would go with Minnesota, but I'll take Colorado at home.
So that'll be Colorado for Coach. It is Minnesota for Terry. Shane, a Colorado physical football team. I'm worried, do they have enough offense? Your thoughts on this big game, 1 o'clock Pac-12 network?
Yeah, I'm not sure if either have great offenses.
Yeah.
I was impressed how Colorado played last week. I'm going to lean. Is this part of the alliance? These two teams playing one another. Big
so,
Ten,
yes.
Pac-12.
I guess.
So I will take. I'll take the Buffaloes at home.
So a couple Colorados, and I will go against the grain. Minnesota missing their running back. It's been a couple weeks. I think they're going to be okay. I like the quarterback and the receivers. So Colorado for Coach, Colorado for Shane, Minnesota for myself. Coach Spurrier, how about Florida State? We've got into that earlier in the week. Terrible loss. They are on the road at Wake Forest. Wake Forest earlier in the week was about a touchdown favorite over Florida State. Coach Spurrier, Florida State needs a win bad. Wake Forest is pretty good.
Yeah, it's at Wake Forest.
Yes.
After FSU lost that game last week, I still don't know how in the world they lost as a 28-point favorite. Can they bounce back? I don't know, but I like Wake Forest. They're a pretty good team, got good coaches up there, so I'll go with Wake.
I'm going to go with Dave Clausen and Wake Forest as well to continue the misery for Mike Norvelle and Florida State. Shane, do the Noles open 0-3 in year 2 under Mike Norvelle?
Yes. As y'all said, Dave Clausen does a tremendous job there. I think Wake Forest wins this game easily.
Yeah, across the board, we've got Wake Forest. I worry, boy. You look at FSU's schedule. I don't know how many guaranteed wins they have on that schedule, and it looks like they're having some issues in the locker room and team morale, things like that. Coach, I'm going to give this one back to you. Our next game, Mississippi State. Your son, receivers coach for Mike Leach. Mississippi State on the road at Memphis. This is a really good game here. Tough pick. That's a 4 o'clock game, ESPN2. SEC goes into Memphis. You know it's going to be a good crowd. Memphis excited. The big Power 5 school comes in. How do you see it?
Yeah, Mississippi State plays in the Liberty Bowl.
How about that?
You don't know, but that's the place I coached my last game with the Orlando Apollos.
Is that right?
Liberty Bowl, yeah. We beat the Memphis Express 34-31. Heck of a game. I'm going to go with Mississippi State and, something like 24-21, something like that.
Tough game, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a tough, almost a toss-up game. I think Mississippi State actually, as a road team, is giving up 3 earlier in the week. Shane, that's a good game. It's going to get buried with a bunch of other good games, but a straight-up tough pick, Mississippi State, Memphis. How do you see it?
I'm going to go with SEC. I think Mississippi State's played really good defense this year. We know Memphis can score points, but I think Mississippi State has too many athletes. I like the Dogs.
Mississippi State's defense is sort of carrying that bunch right now. They're really good.
Yeah, they're better. They had to, their defense kept them in that game because North Carolina State, I know that the game was a kind of a blowout at the end. North Carolina State had a chance to go up about 17 or 20 early, and State's defense hung in there. And they came back and scored enough. I'm going Mississippi State as well, kind of in a great game. Give me the SEC. We just kind of threw this one. The point spread is about 30 points. Shane, South Carolina at Georgia. Really just so we could talk about it a little bit. Weird situation going on with Georgia at quarterback. I know you're taking the Dogs. Talk about this game real quick, Shane.
Well, I think it's interesting because I don't think either team knows who's going to play quarterback for. It'll be anxious to see. I mean, Stetson Bennett played real well last week, but is JT Daniels going to be healthy enough to play? And then you got Luke Doty coming back. Does he start or does the graduate assistant coach play? I think that's all intriguing, but I don't see how South Carolina can hang around in this game at all.
And Coach, obviously I'm taking Georgia. You're taking Georgia, I'm sure. Talk about, though, what a weird situation is developing at Georgia with an injury here and an injury there. And this quarterback situation for both teams. The grad assistant has led South Carolina to a 2-0 record. But their starter is back. What do you make of all this quarterback stuff?
I don't know what to think.
Crazy.
But what was JT Daniels' injury?
A core type injury. I can't. Oblique, I think they called it. Whatever your oblique is in this area.
But I mean, Georgia's defense is maybe the best in the country, so they should win. Now, I don't know if they can cover the 30-point spread.
Points.
Yeah, they're favored by 30, so I think that's a toss-up on whether or
not
on
the points.
They'll
but we all like Georgia.
But,
Shane, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd put Doty in against Georgia. I might save him for the next game.
Shane, real quick, state on this game, just your thoughts. The last thing Georgia needs is if JT Daniels was to play and he, pitches a couple interceptions, what do? You don't want to cause a quarterback controversy if there's not one there, but wouldn't that be weird if he goes in and stinks it up a little bit on the heels of Stetson Bennett throwing touchdowns after touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, put Kirby in a weird spot. I go back to I really like the way Stetson Bennett plays football. I liked him last year, and people forget they were ahead with Stetson Bennett at quarterback against us last year, 14-0, and then he got hurt. Still tried to play a little bit, hurt. I think he hurt his throwing shoulder.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know if they need JT Daniels to play this week. If he's ready to go, I guess you got to play him since he was initially your starter.
Yeah, and you want to get him some reps. You definitely want to get him some reps. You don't want him sitting out 2 or 3 games and then popping up against a Kentucky or a Florida or somebody like that. The next game is the second best game on paper, I think, for the nation looking. Everybody wants to see, obviously, Florida, Alabama. The second game on paper, Auburn at Penn State. I'll lead off. I think Penn State's going to win a whiteout at home. I don't know what to make of Auburn. They're scoring 60 a game. They're not playing anybody real good. Auburn in a tough night game at Penn State. I go Penn State. Coach, how do you see that game?
I see the Auburn Tigers going up there and beating Penn State.
Woo!
Yeah, I think Auburn's got some extra juice this year that they haven't had. Their quarterback, Bo Nix, is a different player completely. I don't know who's coaching him now or who coached him before, but it seems like he goes back there and throws the ball.
Yeah.
Or if he does scramble, he doesn't go backwards or sideways. He goes
like
forward.
He used to, yeah.
Yeah, and he's hitting a high percentage. So I think Auburn's got a good team. I think they win it up there.
There you have it. Shane, this is a 7:30 ABC game. You could do the Florida-Alabama leading right into this one. You don't see these teams play very often. Auburn at Penn State. How do you see it?
Yeah, it's going to be a great atmosphere. I'm not sold on Penn State either. We know they've been tested a little bit against Wisconsin. I felt like Wisconsin gave that game away to them. I'm kind of with Coach. I think Bo Nix is a different player this year. Now, he's played terrible. If you look at his stats, compare them to home games and road games, he's been awful on the road.
Okay.
But I think Brian Harson's a pretty good football coach. I think Mike Bobo, he's been around the block. I think Auburn's going to win a squeaker.
So 2 Auburns, and I like Penn State. We moved down a couple more before the Florida-Alabama game. This game could be the best game of the day or night. Virginia, which I think Virginia's got a good quarterback. I love their tight end, 6'7". He's Kyle Pitts-like. Woods is his name. Virginia at North Carolina. Coach Spurrier, 7:30 ACC network game. Seems like we hadn't seen North Carolina play football in about a month. What do you think?
I think I'm picking first every time.
I know.
Let's say you pick first.
Okay. Shane, he caught on. Shane, he caught on to me there. Did you notice that? He caught on to me there. You know what? Give me Virginia. I'm going to go with another underdog probably on the road. Road underdog. I love the quarterback, the lefty for Virginia. Armstrong. They've got a lot of weapons. North Carolina. Shane, when's the last time North Carolina played a football game? I hadn't seen them in like 2 months, it doesn't seem like.
Well, they played last week. I don't remember who they beat, but I think they did. But I think Virginia's going to win the game. I think Bronco Mendenhall does a great job. I think North Carolina, I've watched them play a little bit. Obviously, we watched that first game. I guess they lost a ton of players. I'm not impressed. They may come out and play their best game of the year, but I'm going to lean towards the Cavaliers.
Coach, the door's wide open for you if you want to go North Carolina.
No, I'm going Virginia. I'm a Dookie. It's hard for us Dookies to pick North Carolina. So I think it's a toss-up game, though. Either team certainly very capable of winning.
Last game before we talk about and pick Florida, Alabama, and give our reasons why. Somebody, Shane Matthews, I'll let you go first here. Somebody out west is going to get off to a really nice start. Arizona State, undefeated. BYU undefeated. This is a 10:15 game on ESPN late tomorrow night. Shane, another tough game on paper. Somebody's really off to a good start that gets the win tomorrow. How do you see it?
I like the Cougars. I know they came off that big win over Utah last week, and maybe they have an emotional letdown. Most teams might over your big rivalry type game, but we all know BYU probably their kids are 25, 26 years old. They're a little more mature. So I'm going to go with the Cougars at home.
Shane goes BYU. Coach, Arizona State, Herm Edwards, a tough offseason. A lot of stuff off the field, but boy, they haven't let it affect them. And BYU, Kalani Sitake, the head coach at BYU, starting to get his name mentioned at a lot of places. He's done a nice job. A little bit of whispers about USC. That's a West game that'll get buried. It's a good game. Somebody will be 3-0 feeling good. How do you see it?
I like Brigham Young. Yeah, I should have picked him against Utah, but I thought Utah at home would beat Brigham Young. But Brigham Young's at home. Those guys are a little older, but they really play smart.
They really do.
I really like their defensive coordinator. I don't even know his name, but they got some nice, solid schemes. And they don't play bump and run. They play back, and they don't give up big plays. So I'm going to take Brigham Young. I'm
going to go across the board. It's almost like one of you guys earlier in the picks. I'm going because of the home team. I think it's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. Give me BYU at home. Guys, we're at the big game tomorrow in Gainesville, Alabama, defending national champion, the winning streak, all that, the wins over the East teams that go back to 2010. Shane, give me a thumbnail. Florida, Alabama, what do you think happens tomorrow? We know what you want to happen. What do you think is going to happen on the field? 3:30 CBS, Florida hosting Alabama.
Well, my hope is that this game can be really close, even in the second quarter going into halftime, and we have an opportunity. I know the Swamp's going to be electric. I think that gives us a little push. I've seen and heard Coach talk about, you got to respect what Alabama has done year in and year out. And I like their quarterback. I like the way they play on the road. I just think they have just a few too many players for us. Now, if they turn it over, and we make some big, we make 5 or 6 explosive plays during the game and maybe score or do something special on special teams, you never know. I'm just hoping it's going to be a good competitive game. I would love for the Gators to win it, but I just think Alabama's got too much for us.
Shane officially takes Alabama. Good explanation, Coach. Big game tomorrow. Alabama, you've had some success against them over the years. It ain't easy. They're good. What do you think happens tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm going to take the Gators in an upset. Obviously, 14, 15-point underdog. We got to play well, play near perfection, not perfect, but got to play smart. Yeah, hopefully it will be a lower scoring game. I don't know if we need to get in a
this year.
Yeah, we don't need a 52-48, something like that. Hopefully a 27-22, something like that would be a nice win. We need to stay on the field, have some long drives, run the ball, consume some clock a little bit here, there, and the other. But other than that, just play smart. Don't give them anything. When you play a team that's heavily favored, you can't give them nothing. So take care of the ball. Anthony, got a feeling he might play more than he's played all year.
Okay.
But we got to wait and see. But I'm going to take the Gators. Dan Mullen is due to beat Alabama. Okay. And this could be the one tomorrow.
It would be a big one. So we're split so far. Shane takes Alabama. Coach takes Florida. Tomorrow, I want to echo what Shane kind of said, reading between the lines a moment ago. Florida, because they're the next team up against Alabama, but Florida needs to do what not many people do. You've got to stress Alabama, make them uncomfortable. I mean, my goodness, if they were a baseball team, Alabama's first 2 games, they haven't even taken off their batting practice jerseys. They haven't been stressed at all. You got to stress them. You got to, but Shane, as you said, to stress them, you got to make it a game in the second half. I mean, they're dumping their 3rd and 4th string in most second halves. I just think it's going to be hard for Florida to stay with them for 4 full quarters. I'm going to go with Alabama, kind of like Shane, just a few more better players maybe at this stage, but you never know. So 2 Alabamas and 1 Florida. Coach, before we get out of here, what you got?
11 years ago, Kirk Herbstreit picked the South Carolina Gamecocks to beat number 1 Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
Ask him.
How about that?
I don't know why he did it. But,
How about that?
But, when somebody picks a team to win, maybe they say, hey, we can go do this thing. So it's going to be a fun one to watch tomorrow, and I really do think we got a fighting chance against these guys.
Sounds good. Shane, thank you very much for your time again. We'll track all these picks. Good week of picks. and we'll get out of here. So there you have it. We'll take a break, let Coach get about his business. He's got a lot of work to do with a lot of media in town. And remember, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill open and ready for you. Let's take a break. We'll come back. I'll wrap up the show on a Friday before Florida, Alabama. It is College Sports Today.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
The good vibes. What? All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good
All the
vibes.
good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the Northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
I hope you guys enjoy the Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week as much as I do. Thanks to Shane Matthews and Coach Spurrier. If you missed it, our show is always archived on Facebook Live. Go back and check it out. Coach Spurrier goes Florida. Shane and myself, we go Alabama. We shall see. I want to thank all the sponsors. You see our bugs on the screen there. Allen Law Firm, our title sponsor. Pound yes. Hit the pound sign YES. From your phone, the easiest way to get in touch with Allen Law Firm if you or somebody you know has been injured or in an accident. Pound yes. Also check out their website, allenlaw.com. allenlaw.com. They've got a great virtual consultation right there on their wonderful website, Allen Law Firm, the title sponsor of College Sports Day. We are broadcasting inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Of course, you know, Coach has got his podcast room in here, and that is where you find the Future Home Loans Studio. You see that wonderful logo up top. They've been doing it for 4 years, the largest in the Southeast now in terms of mortgage lending companies. Robert Lynn and his group do a tremendous job. They take it serious. Robert Lynn, a veteran, he's a very proud veteran business owner. They have a get-it-done attitude, over 2,000 five-star reviews. That doesn't just happen overnight. That means you're doing it right, and you're doing it right for a long, long time. Check out what they can do for you. If you're in the market for a new home or a existing used home, feel free to contact Future Home Loans. They'll square you away with your transaction, take all the stress out of that. I want to thank all of our sponsors, including Vida de Louis Tequila. If you're coming over to Spurrier's, yes, they serve Vida de Louis here in Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. As a matter of fact, it's in one of their signature drinks, the Coco Loco. It'll be in there. You'll love that drink. Cream of coconut and lemon and orange, and of course that great Vida de Louis tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Ask for it by name in all your bars and restaurants around the state of Florida. But when you're coming over here, get yourself a Coco Loco and enjoy Vida de Louis in your margaritas. Call it out as well when you order a margarita. And if you take a victory shot, hopefully tomorrow, get you a shot of tequila made by Vida de Louis. Thanks to all of our sponsors, including Safe Harbor Seafood, Sliders Oyster Bar, JB Coxwell Contracting, everybody that makes the show happen. Thank you so very much. Thanks to all the people. We didn't get to a lot of our Facebook Live comments. We had Melanie and Alexander and a couple other people. We were packed in here trying to get all the picks in, but we appreciate you guys following the show and commenting, and we try and get to those as we go. Now, reminder tomorrow, the big radio broadcast I'm part of, myself and Matt Hayes. You know Matt from Saturdays Down South. Matt is one of the leading college sports writers in the nation. He and I team up on 1010XL 92.5 FM, the big stations out of Jacksonville. We do a Saturday morning radio show, Saturday Kickoff, every Saturday morning, obviously during college football season. We are going to do that show live from Gainesville tomorrow morning. Come by the Sunny's on Archer Road and visit with us. We'll have tons of giveaways, a bunch of swag to give away. We also have 2 tickets we'll give away for next week's Florida-Tennessee game. We'll do that during the show, but we invite any and all of you folks in the Gainesville area that are already here. Come on by. 11 to 12:30 is the live broadcast, the radio broadcast tomorrow. Myself and Matt Hayes say hi, shake our hands, and walk away with some great swag, and you may even walk away with a couple tickets to next week's Florida-Tennessee game. We're there 11 until 12:30. I want to thank Allen Law Firm. They're going to be over passing out all kinds of swag. I've got a bunch of swag from Vida de Louis. We'll get that passed out to you folks that come by and say hi. Also, Future Home Loans, they've loaded us up with great stuff. You're going to enjoy all the stuff we're giving away while it lasts, so make sure you make a point. If you're coming from Jacksonville, where 1010XL and 92.5 FM are based out of, come on over, Gator Nation, and even you Alabama fans as well. Come over, have your pregame meal at Sunny's on Archer Road, or your tailgate takeout meal. Sunny's, Archer Road tomorrow. We'll be there broadcasting our radio show live from 11 until 12:30. Please come by, and we'll take care of you if you get there early enough while the swag lasts over there. That's about it. Not a whole lot else to do except, have the sun come up tomorrow and head to the stadium early for the big game, Alabama and Florida, 3:30 CBS kickoff. Should be a good SEC ball game. The big game of the nation coming to you tomorrow from Gainesville. That'll wrap it up. I want to thank Shane Matthews, of course, on Friday. Coach Steve Spurrier, who joins us Mondays and Fridays here on College Sports Today during the football season. And, of course, our producer, Evan Miller. Enjoy some little bit of games tonight and a big schedule tomorrow, including the big one, Florida, Alabama. We'll talk about that and all the weekend's college football when we get back together on Monday, 11 a.m. for the next edition of College Sports Today.